Jesus Christ. Andy, how we doing?
Good, beautiful sunshiny day here.
Yes, as it is in Los Angeles as well. We're here in front of the beautiful Staples Center at the LA Live, doing a little work meeting. So, fun stuff. What'd you think of that preseason action last night? That was better than my wildest expectations.
Like we joked around before we recorded yesterday about there should be a red zone channel, and I only seen 100 people tweet, and you tweeted it too. Like everyone said that. I'm like, that totally makes sense. You couldn't watch all the games, and I looked at all the other weeks. Like they're not doing anything like this. It was really weird. There was too many games almost, but there was some good stuff. A lot of injuries, which it just seemed like there was a lot of injuries. Maybe because there was way too many people playing. People freaking out about how Baker Mayfield's just, shipping him right down the road. Canton's not far from Cleveland, putting him right in there. Which is, what was the tweet I shared yesterday in that chat? The Inception one. Who was the quarterback?
I forget.
Oh, God. Either way, some shitty quarterback went like 9 for 11.
Brandon Weeden.
Brandon Weeden went like 9 for 11 with 100 some yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, or whatever it was. Yeah. And I'm said, this is the tweet I have to go back and look at every time I overreact to something in the preseason, because
that was the greatest response I heard.
It's the preseason. Like, let's chill out. Right. Baker looked composed. Josh Allen, everyone's going to pick on him for that one, but when you have a D end running free, or a edge rush, or whoever it was, might have been a linebacker.
Oh, I'm 100% ready to bury the Bills play caller for calling that in the first place. Did you see what the play was?
Yeah.
They had him they had the whole line collapse inside, and they had him roll the opposite way they wanted him to throw. I think it was like a design. They were trying to make everyone think they were going right, and then have him get an easy sneak or something for 2 yards, and he wasn't even really expecting to have to throw. But what actually did transpire, as ugly as it was, he's lucky that wasn't for 6, I guess.
Yeah, it was. But, that was a 4th down play. Like,
yeah,
he had to make something out of it, I guess. But let's not overreact to week 1, except for cash and winners. Which I love that. There was I took an over, and nobody scored for the first 10 minutes of the game, and then they rattled off 36 points before halftime, which,
of course,
love the preseason.
Let me ask you. Okay, so you made a great point at the beginning. It's impossible to say how good someone is from the preseason, but is it possible to evaluate some units, some players, some positions at certain teams as bad? Right? Like, if you're not doing if you're doing well, it can be the combinations of a lot of things. But if you're doing poorly, I feel like we can draw some conclusions. Giants defense. Holy cow!
Defensive. Look at defensive lines. Defensive lines are something that you sub in and out a lot. Like, great teams are able to do that. Good teams are able to do that. Everybody needs to do that. Even if they're not playing the stars, you got to be looking at people's D lines, especially, and even on just run defense, but especially some of the guys that are cycling and at linebacker, as far as linebackers in coverage. Those are the guys that are going to be cycled in. They're not the stars that you're going to hear about. But if you don't have depth on D line on longer drives, it's going to be a big problem if you can't be cycling guys in and out, especially on specialty situations. If you don't have a third D end you can bring in on a long pass down to blitz, and if you see D lines just getting effed up in the preseason, even if they're backups, that means you don't have depth, and your D line, vis-a-vis your defense, might suck this year.
I'm gonna piggyback on that with the O-lines. The Browns O-line did not look very good. The Colts O-line did not look very good. I am, as glowing as everyone wants to be about Baker Mayfield, both Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield had to do some pretty nifty avoiding of catastrophe. The Bills' O-line looked terrible. There was a handful of teams where I felt like you could pretty much tease out problematic O-line situations. Cannot wait for this next round of games. Week 2 preseason is going to be just as great as week 1. And let's see what the Raiders and the Lions have on tap tonight. It's going to be a pretty fun one to watch.
Well, and then actually, I might have been convinced to play some Jets tonight. Jets.
Why? Who's?
I'm looking at the quarterback thing. Like I guess they're gonna play the piss out of Teddy and Darnold and not dick around with anything else as far as going into the new backup. So we're gonna look. That line got steamed out a little. We'll see if there's an angle to play that. Maybe some Jets team totals. Should do preseason team totals. Yeah.
You know what's worth mentioning from a betting standpoint? Underdogs and overs. My goodness. If you just bet or teased underdogs and overs to this point, you would be absolutely rolling in winnings. It's surprising. It's actually kind of in line, at least the underdogs part. The overs, I wonder if it has anything to do with the way the game's being officiated, or how many teams are being more risky, and you're seeing a lot of turnovers. The overs are
massive amount of turnovers.
Massive. So the fact that you can still get overs on like 34s, 35s, 36s is pretty nice. And underdogs, man, back these dogs.
Yeah, the Eagles game, the game total went over at halftime. So.
Hey, I'm looking at your hat. When are the Vikings playing?
Oh, it's Saturday up at Mile High.
Okay.
But there was another game that wasn't even the highest scoring first half. I want to say the Bengals game had 37 in the first half.
Yes, it did.
There was fun to watch.
There
were some offense. So.
All right, let's wrap it, man. Happy birthday to the first year of the deep dive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well done, Andy. We made it 83 episodes deep over the course of a year. I'm pretty proud of what we put together. If you haven't already, check out what we got as far as NFL previews last week or this week. We got two 2-hour previews up, 4 hours of content, an hour on every division that we've covered so far. You'll absolutely enjoy those. Great for a car ride, great for if you're going on vacation, if you have 4 hours worth of flying, we got you covered. So have fun with that, and we'll be back with 2 more next week. I don't know that people saw that because I was talking. They might have had the screen on me.
Oh yeah, well, the Staples Center is better looking than this shiny bright window here. So yeah, we will. We'll see you. We'll talk soon.
All right, take it easy, man.